Savix can deal with it. He's going to open up with the cheap shot here. As the Crippling Poison goes for the gouge. Sonii sitting in that Berserker stance, so rightly, instantly gets the intercept off now. Big pressure going to come onto Savix. Demo Shout comes down, renders on him as well. Second cheap shot comes down into a kidney shot. Savix has the evasion popped in that kidney shot with the cold blood popped as well. So a lot of cooldowns using it from Savix. He's looking to get the eviscerate off, but he gets disarmed on the Warstorm there. Big play by Sonii. Equips the Earthshaker, mass amounts of damage in that battle stance with the overpowers coming down now. Nades to top it off as well. Savix forced to blind to try and stabilize right here, Tips. He needs to get some health back. Deep wounds, 3 seconds left. He's going to look to drink, maybe get a couple ticks off. Sap Sonii here. I think Sonii might just be in battle stance still because he was getting those overpowers off onto the evasion of Savix. But Savix, though, looking pretty stable in this duel right now. The helm comes down because there's a heartbeat proc there. Savix doesn't get the resap off. Sonii's trying to kite him. Savix trying to stay as close as he can. Sonii trying to get the intercept off. Battle stance comes down to get the big overpower onto Sonii as he gets into a full kidney shot here. Big trouble here for Sonii. Savix got the cold blood popped. You can see a huge eviscerate coming out here. Grenade comes down for extra damage. It is resisted though. Savix looking to get the eviscerate off. There it is, but it is dodged. He needs to get another one up right now. Sonii super slow, trying to stick with Savix. Gouge comes down. It is DR. Sonii will look to get the Fear of Fear is down. He doesn't win it in time, and the intercept comes out into an executed. Savix goes down. Really well played by Sonii there.
Very well played by Sonii.
Sonii's so good on the warrior. Like
the tanky Tauren on top of that. So difficult for Savix. Unfortunate dodge on the cold blood. Here we go.
Yeah, Savix does not have many cooldowns left for this duel, but I'd like to see him try and reset, try and kite just a little bit more. I think he played a bit too much into Sonii's hands there. Doesn't get the cheap shot off, goes for the Garrote instead into Rupture, so going for a bleed spec here, Tips.
Trying to do what he can. He noticed that Sonii has just way too much armor. He wants that reliable damage, so use the Rupture, use the Garrote. But here comes the intercept from Sonii. Huge damage coming out from Sonii. The nade. Savix almost in execute range. He whipper roots back up, however, taking down the Battle Chicken if he can. It's enraged. It's almost down, and it does fall. Meanwhile, Blind ready to fall off of Sonii. He's just going to charge right in onto Savix. No. Pops the demoralizing shouts, trying to break the stealth onto Savix. Swaps to the Iron Foe, Draconian Deflector, and resets himself. Savix not taking any chances here, going to take the time to eat back up as well.
Sonii sitting in Berserker stance here, meaning that Savix will not be able to sap him because he will use that Berserker Rage to escape it. And just real quick for chat, the spec should have been updated. Apparently it wasn't updated. There was a bit of a fault in production, but Sonii is running Last Stand and Iron Will, meaning there's a 40% chance, sorry, not 40% chance, an extra 15% chance he resists stuns.
Absolutely. The 40% coming from orcs that run that talent, trying to stack up that resistance as much as possible. There's the intercept onto Savix from Sonii. He's got that Iron Foe. Does he swap to the Earthshaker? He does not. Big kidney shot from Savix, however, breaks almost instantly. And now Sonii.
oh my goodness.
Just absolutely unleashing onto Savix. Without his cooldowns, he's so vulnerable. And there's the execute is dodged, but the second one is not. Savix drops 0-2.
Poor Savix there, the net backfire pulls him into his death, and Sonii just says, "I'll take that free building."
Absolutely, it's an unfortunate backfire. It's just, it's so hard as a rogue without those cooldowns. Both these competitors went head-to-head, and Sonii, I believe, eliminated Healing Stab during that tournament, and immediately pops the Recklessness into the Rage Potion, into the huge damage. The Blackout proc, though, unfortunate there for Sonii. He intercepts back in, however, and is looking to absolutely burn every ounce of rage he has. Does he get an Earthbreaker Shock? He does not. And now Sonii, no Shrunk Ray, that Recklessness, unfortunately, going to waste as he slowly bleeds down. Shadow Word Pain ticking, Mind Flay ticking, Sony's life ticking. You hate to see it.
Really unfortunate at the end there because Healing Stat popped a Mind Flay, but it resisted and Sonii pummeled into it. So not a bad decision there from Sonii, but the fortunate resist means that Healing Stat was able to continue casting those shadow spells. And Sonii, of course,
if I'm a warrior, maybe I hold on to Wreck till the second duel. I save all my cooldowns for the second duel. Hope I can force a Shrink Ray in the first duel. But unfortunate for Sonii there. He gets netted and he gets the Blackout proc. He's going to start busting out. I'm not sure if that's a Rip Hook or a Bone Bow, whichever one Sonii has. Whatever the case may be, intercepts back in, but it's already too little too late. Gets the Earthshaker proc. It might help him recover here, but there comes the shield. Shield means no rage for Sonii Digital. Attacking into a shield does nothing until you break it for a warrior. So Sonii now low on rage, and he's just going to take the L here. So difficult. Warrior versus Shadow Priest.
The triple blackout proc there as well, of course. There's a higher chance that procs with the Shadow Guard that Healing Set has chosen to take on that Troll Priest. Very tough matchup for Sonii. He played it as best he could.
Couple of tricks up his sleeve. He goes for the Spiral Bow, Ornate Mithril Boots, trying to break whatever route he can, as well as the nifty Stopwatch and the Horned Viking Helmet. So he's going for full lockdown. Of course, he's got the Earthshaker equipped as well for the extra stun proc, as well as Mace specialization too. He opens up onto Reverie, uses the cheeky Entangling Roots opener immediately into the Gnomish cloaking device, and now Sonii running around like a chicken with his head cut off, just trying to find Reverie, who opens up with the Entangling Roots. No resist this time. Now Sonii doing his best to charge back in. No, very clever play by Sonii. Faking the charge, but going to drop combat. Going to try to recover here with a couple of ticks. Reverie drops form. Looking to see Sonii pop his nifty Stopwatch here if he can. No, it's the Horned Viking Helmet. Incredible play by Sonii, waiting for his bleeds to tick off before popping the helmet, recovering here, and now Reverie is caught out of form. Here comes the big damage. I believe Recklessness is back up for Sonii. I'm not sure if he'll use it here. Might be saving it for a future duel, but the Mace specialization proc stuns up Reverie outside of form. Huge damage coming out from Sonii, but the bash from Reverie into the roots. Is there a Spiral Belt? Is there a Mithril Boots proc? Yes, there is. Spider Belt from Sonii, but it's a little bit too late. Huge damage coming out from Reverie.
Holy
and Sonii
shit.
Digital goes down.
I'm so
Excellent
fucked.
play either way by both competitors there. And,
yeah, Sonii, he needs to get some Mace stuns, he needs to get some Earthshaker procs, just needs a bit of fortune to go his way here while Reverie's caught in that human form. He's got to work through the NS, he's got to work through the Innovate, he's got to work through multiple routes and a bash as well. Maybe hoping he can resist the bash with that Iron Will talent. He has 50% chance to resist that bash, and the duelist side is Zoo is out tips.
interesting play by Reverie to go for the pounce, respecting his guild leader and allowing him at least an opportunity to come back in this one, knowing that he has no more root breaks. But Sonii, demoralizing roar onto him. You can see he's barely doing any damage to that frenzied regen, just not enough damage. Good fear, however, no wounds sticking up to Reverie, so Sonii's getting a full bandage here. He's gonna be able to reset and charge as well. Great turn of events there for Sonii, but there's the War Stomp into the roots. It's resisted! Intercept onto Reverie, but the net... Oh, the net onto Sonii Digital, and now he's stuck. But it's gonna be a short duration net. He's gonna be able to recover here.
I like the adaptation, just right away starting to eat once he's out of combat. That was smart. I feel like Reverie's just keeping his distance so well, and it's so difficult for Sonii to deal any damage whatsoever. Similar to a mage matchup almost.
And you can see Sonii baiting Reverie out of form, trying to get him to drop form for just a split second so he can intercept back in. But we're at the edge of the duel line here. You got to be careful. But Sonii pops his Goblin Rocket Boots, baits out the huge intercept into the Earthshaker stun. Now Sonii with the Rocket Boots in pursuit. Another Earthshaker stun to follow up. NS is popped by Reverie. Is Sonii going to be able to get this right now? He's dropping down low. He doesn't have the rage to pump through Reverie's bear form. But a great play, a great bait into the Goblin Rocket Boots there by Sonii. Play that perfectly. Just not sure if it's quite enough. Earthshaker, I mean, he's really wishing he had a BRE right about now. Big bash from Reverie into the Entangling Roots. So unfortunate.
Wow.
Oh, that was played so well by Sonii too, but it looks like he's gonna go down here. If he had a Bone Reaver's Edge, that might have played out differently. Just as I say he's about to go down, he pops the Whipper Tuber. Reverie almost completely out of mana. And Insect Sword Moonfire about to run out here. So Sonii could be in a decent position. The Goblin Warder goes off. Is he gonna get a lucky crit or two here? No. Reverie swaps to bear form. And it looks like Sonii will possibly go down. The Earthshaker stun, but it's not enough. Certainly possible. Sonii immediately popping the Shadow Reflector. Gets the fear onto the Succubus, into the Earthshaker stun, and goes for the Succubus. Great presence of mind by Sonii.
Oh, no.
Recognizing that the Succubus is very, very fragile, and he takes it down. But the Soulfire comes out from Cheerios, just not enough. Unfortunately, the lack of gear and firing that into a Tauren warrior just did not do enough for him. The Earthshaker stun coming out from Sonny's intercept into the grenade, into the Mortal Strike. The Death Coil, though, onto Sonii. Allows Cheerios to recover at least momentarily, but intercept about to come off and cool down the Soul Burn. Huge burn coming out from Cheerios into the Nightfall Proc, into the Shadow Bolt. Cheerios.
Did he do this?
Oh, the execute. Right now in phase 1, however, it is a different meta as we see Sonii charge in. The charm does go off this time. The seduction does go off. Here's the big Soulfire. Let's get a big zoom in on this one. Big crit. Fingers crossed for the crit. Fortunately, it doesn't look like it crit there, but still a decent amount of damage, chunking Sonii pretty significantly there. But now Cheerios caught in melee range, unable to fear Sonii, who's just all over him. The fear doesn't go off. It does not. The Earthshaker stun to boot. Into the execute, Sonii Digital 2-0ing Cheerios there. The Destro lock and climbing the warrior bracket. Horned Viking helmet and the Earthshaker, which I've got to say, incredibly underrated, has been doing work this tournament. But Sam I Am pops the Gnomish cloaking to ensure the polymorph.
So shafted.
Yeah, Wreck is popped. He can
I just got
out
so
right now,
shafted.
Max range, that's really depressing for poor Sonii.
That is so...
It's a strategy, trust me. I've talked to Sonii. The Wreck and Sheep is a strategy. Guy still has this calm down.
There's the Horned Viking helmet at heartbeat, so Sam doesn't even have to ice block it. What is this unfortunate RNG for Sonii, who intercepts back in? It's not going to be enough. There's the nade. Breaks almost instantly, however. He gets into range. He's got rage to burn. So Sam's got to be careful here. He might get caught out. If he gets an Earthshaker stun, it could spell doom for Sam I Am, who burns his block. But there's the Frost Nova. No more Spider Belt or Ornate Boots for Sonii. He's going to get kited here just a little bit. He swaps to Sword and Board with that Iron Foe. Let's see what he opts to do
ever
here.
Closer to
Wait,
him.
is he
He's getting
getting
slightly
close?
closer. Hamstring comes down, but a super unfortunate Frostbite there. Pops the boots, trying to dodge as many Novas as he can here. Rankle Frostbite comes out. Counterspells keep him in combat. There's a Nova. Sonii almost dodges it. Pops into defensive stance to absorb that Cone of Cold. Manages to get the intercept on Sam from his boom, but he has access to that evocation. Sony's really playing this as well as he can. He's so close. Oh, at the torn range there. Sam maybe getting a little bit too close.
God fucking damn it, dude.
He has like 5,000.
He's got insane HP.
5,700 unbuffed.
Holy moly.
Unbuffed.
Makes sense why he's burning through so much of Sam's mana. He drops the Goblin Mortar just a little bit too late. So Sam able to recover here after the polymorph. But I've got to say 5.7k HP is a lot to burn through. Here we go.
It's one of the Warriors' biggest chances here against the Mage. If you can just outlast and maybe eat closer like Sonii was doing there. Pops the nifty stopwatch here, trying to get close, but the impact stun, unfortunately, onto Sonii is going to keep him away off Sam I Am for a couple more globals. Sam forced to blink out of this.
And a full net.
Improved hamstring right here, and he's just caught into a net as Sonii now has the Berserker Rage popped. He's getting more range from that as he takes the damage. The nade comes down onto Sam, but it might not be enough. Sony's trying to stay alive. There's the intercept. Big mace onto Sam. Sam's not going to blink away from this. Pop the grenade.
Oh,
Sonii,
nice nade.
Really nice defensive stance, though, on the nade right there to prevent just a little bit of damage. And Sonii trying to stay close to Sam. Sam popping that mana gem, though, to keep himself in the fight.
Goodness.
An unfortunate impact down there on Sonii as well. Just going to finish him off. Really well played by Sam. And really well played by Sonii, to be fair. Like, the man has definitely come to play. I think that's been the most competitive Warrior versus Mage we've had this tournament, right, boys?
Here we go. Kazjan versus Sonii Digital. Kazjan drops the scatter trap into an immediate intercept by Sonii. Just huge Mortal Strike into the Thorium grenade. Sonii disarming Kazjan there. Trying to get out of these gentlemen's way here as they duel. Sonii out of rage, but he's just clobbering Kazjan with that Earthshaker. Just takes him out.
That disarm there was huge
a nice
from Sonii
win.
because it meant Kazjan couldn't use his counterattack to immobilize Sonii, and that's the only ability that he had left to use against Sonii there to keep him off him. So really good foresight there by Sonii, disarming Kazjan, knowing Kazjan's playing the
Sonii versus Kazjan once again. Sonii charging in, Earthshaker stun, popping the Rage Potion. Sonii trying to end his Group 8 performance today with a splash. The grenade unfortunately resisted. There's the swap to battle stance, expending a lot of Sony's rage. He just goes for the rocket boots and jumps right into it. He knows he's got Kazjan on the retreat. The scatter trap, though. Does Kazjan go for the trap? No, he goes for the nade. Resisted by Sonii into the Mortal Strike. Kazjan execute range. Is he going to get taken out here? The wing clip. Sonii dead zoning the Hunter effectively, but trying to keep enough distance to get the intercept off, and he'll get it off. No!
Oh, no.
The Hunter becomes the hunted, and the ranged attack from Sonii.
Come on,
The
Kaz.
second one. There it is. Style points for Sonii
can't
as
do
he takes down Kazjan with his own weapon.